Hello, it's Dawn again from Dawn's Inspirations. If you haven't pressed subscribe or liked my YouTube channel, please do, because then it helps me to bring more of these nice free videos to you. So in the previous video, you would have seen we made our hard chipboard cover for mini albums. And this could be any size you wish, okay? Rule of thumb is, go with your page size. Cut your chipboard a little bit bigger than your page size, and then obviously you'd have seen in the previous video your card is even bigger than your chipboard, so it wraps round nicely. You've got no cracking or creasing, you haven't got to worry about anything denting or breaking, and you've got a nice sturdy hinge on your project, even though that's only cardstock. It's absolutely, until you make one, you won't believe it. So now let's look at the hinge that's going to go inside here. You would have seen I've left that little gap on either side. That is so when everything closes, if I bring it up this way, it might show you better. When everything closes in, so when that's out, can you see you've got that gap going on there? But when that closes, you haven't got to worry about that space. You know, sometimes when you're doing chipboard covers, you have to allow that space to go between so everything closes nicely. It's all been incorporated in that previous video. So easy to do, it's unbelievable. So now let's look at a hinge that you could put in here. So straight away you can do my cantilever hinge system, which I've brought to you many times before. The way you're going to do this is you're going to get a piece of cardstock. You're going to need your cardstock to be the width of your spine, okay, which I know is 2 inches because I'm just working in inches, but whatever you do, whether it's 1.5 inches or whatever you want it to do, and then you need to allow wings. So I've got a piece of cardstock here that is going to allow me to do a 3/4 of an inch and then a 2 3/4. So it's going to give me the wings on either side. Can you see what I talk about with the wings? This is the cantilever bit. This is the bit that's actually going to stick into your book. That means all your pages can lay flat. Okay, if you've bought the memory books that I bring you from Pink Frog, it's all in there, and you can always watch the videos back on Create and Craft to see how it's done as well. And if not, my online workshops to accompany those kits are also available. I'll leave the links below on the video. So that's the basis. Then you're going to need the next piece up. So your next piece up means you've got a piece that's going to go in the middle of 1.25 inches, but again you've got 1/2 inch either side for your attaching your pages. So this is going to give you that gap in between. Okay, all will become clear. I'll put it together, and then your next piece is going to be 1.5 inches. So you've got 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's do that one first, because as I said, there's 2 ways you can do this. So let me get my bone. I seem to be losing everything today. Bone folder. So that's the piece we've done with the cantilever back. Make sure you've got a nice crisp burnish on there, okay, because that's going to be the bit that's going to go into your book. You need it to lay nice and flat. So your next piece up is a piece, that's a 2 inch spine. So I've now got 1.25 inches, I think I said, didn't I? Yeah, I've now got 1.25 inch piece, but then I've got 1/2 inch going up on each side to attach my pages. And what I could do to show you that this is where the pages are going to go is we'll just do a little mitre on those. Okay, and then the last piece is this piece, which is 1.5 inches, and again scored in at 1/2 inch on each end. So I'm not going to mess around with the red line tape for adding the pages at this stage, because this is a how-to video. So this is giving you the idea. So you'll see I am quite firm with my scoring. So can you see how nice and crisp that is compared to that side that's a little bit flimsy? This is the difference. This is good burnishing, and you are going to need it. This is the foundations of any project that you're putting together. Okay, so now that's standing proud as it should, and I'm going to do the same on these. I'm using a Teflon bone folder, many of you may ask. This is a Cool Cats one, but you can get hold of many Teflon bone folders, but they're quite good because they're sturdy, and even though you're applying pressure, you're not applying as much pressure as you would with a plastic one. So you can see now how everything is properly burnished. So you'd attach these to your pages. I like to attach them just with wet glue, not double-sided tape. So I'm going on with wet glue. I'm going on again with that EVA glue from Pink Frog. It is a bookbinding glue, so I know it works. I've used it for many projects. You can see how much glue I've got on there. Now I'm going to eyeball this. Many of you may wish to do a couple of little pencil marks. Feel free. So when it goes on, you're going to have a gap on either side. Okay, you're going to lay those wings open and give that a good burnish to get the glue dispersed and into the fibres of your paper. Okay, so that's nicely stuck on. So that's what you're going to have. That is going to be the bit to the back and the bit to the front. I'm making one that's got 4 pages, just so you know. Okay, and then I've got my last bit, and again I'm going on with the glue. Okay, and then again placing that in, so you've got a gap each side. I'm eyeballing mine. I have been doing this for a bit, so if you're not comfortable, put a couple of little pencil marks. So this is basically your stack the deck. First time I saw Stack the Deck, Laura Dennison bought it. I don't know whether it's been patented or anything, but I've seen many crafters use it over the years. So this is basically a Stack the Decks. You're stacking each layer one on top of the other. I add my cantilever back to this. Okay, and then the cantilever back is going to fit very nicely into the back of your book. So when it all folds up, because we have those gaps that we had at the side, it's going to go over your hinge and lay everything nice and flat. You haven't got to worry about spaces. But let me share with you the other way to do the hinge before we attach one. Okay, so again I've got the same startings. I've got my 2-inch across because I've created a 2-inch spine, and I've got 3/4 of an inch either side for my cantilever. So same basics, just giving you another option. I've then got a couple of strips of the same card. I've got these measuring 1.5 inches, but depends on the size project you're doing or whether you're doing centimetres. And I'm going in 1/2 inch on both sides of that, so I'm going in at 1 inch and 1/2 inch score line, and give those a good burnish. Okay, that's one. And I've got two. Now why does that one look smaller? That is a lot smaller. I need two the same. So let me cut another piece of card. So I need 3 inches. Not 3 inches, I need 1.5 inches. And this needs to be by the height of your chip. I've gone by the height of my chipboard, which is 7 3/4, because then it will fit nice and neatly inside my book. Let's bring my scoreboard in and do exactly the same on that one. Which is 1/2 inch. And 1 inch. So basically you've got 1/2 inch on each side. So I've done this again with allowing, well, I say 4 pages. It's allowing you to put 4 pieces in as a page, but you know a page has 2 sides, so it's going to give you lots of space. And by having that 1/2 inch in the middle, you've got a space like the retreat project that I shared with you for lots of chunky pages. So we're going to stick these on here now. Now you're going to position these and you're going to think, oh no, how am I going to measure that? I've got to position those. Do not panic. This is where you can go in with your trimmer, you can go in with your scoreboard, make yourself a couple of little pencil marks. It makes life so much easier. So if I think these are 1/2 inch in, so if I went in 1/2 inch there and 1/2 inch there, that should allow me enough space. So where's my little pencil? That's my score lines. I'm going to bring that into the 1/2 inch mark. I'm not cutting, I'm using this as a guide. So I'm just making sure I've got everything straight. So that's there. So that's going to come in at 1/2 inch. And then this one is also going to come in at 1/2 inch. I'm going to flip it round so I can see that side, because that doesn't look as clear to me. There we go, 1/2 inch. Get your rulers out, or I was right. So that's going to go 1/2 inch. They're going to join up in the middle. I might have to come out a little bit. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, they're going to join up in the middle. So I tell you what, we're going 1/4 inch. Let me get a rubber. This is where it's about playing with it. What I'm doing now, you could technically, if you didn't have 1/2 inch gap there, you could quite easily add more pages with this way. So I'm letting the camera roll. I'm not going to stop, because this is where I want you to see the mechanics behind it. So this time I'm going to come in 1/4 inch. So line that up there. I'm doing 1/4 inch. And in there. And the pencil lines are just giving you that suggestion of what you're doing. So I'm coming in 1/4 inch from the fold, and then I've done another mark that's allowing me my 1/2 inch, so I know I'm sticking top and bottom. Doing the same with this, in 1/4 inch, and align top and bottom. Might seem more of a faff this way, but this way you could have 3 with, say, a 1/4 inch gap in between, and stick 3 lots on this. It gives you more pages. Depends how chunky your pages are going to be. And then I'm going on with wet glue again, and I've got my pencil lines to line them up. Need a bit of glue there to the edge. Okay, so I'm going there, and there, and I've got my pencil lines. So just get that one burnished down. You'll also find with this glue, less is best to start with, but also you don't get so much waste. You're not having much seeping out because it's a thicker glue. It dries quickly, and because you've got control of where it's going, you're not putting too much on and it's not spurting away. You will find the glue will last you a lot longer. Ladies that use it at my clubs and workshops and retreats all comment they're not going through half as much glue as they used to. They're going through less glue because it's more precise. So on with that. Okay, I should have mitered my pocket, my ends, but you can see again you've got that cantilever part with enough for pages. Okay, but you've got the gaps in between to take that quite nicely. So let me just miter those, and then I'll show you how we're going to add this to your book. But as I say, this system will work for any size book. You know, I could do videos galore with the amount of different combinations and sizes of books that you want. So hopefully by showing you this way, you can do the math and work out which way or which one suits your pages the best. I'm thinking of doing this for one of my interactive multi-page books with the 5x7 card envelopes. So bring in the main project again, and this is where this would stick inside here. Okay, I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see in a minute. So that's going to stick inside there. It's not going to interfere with your hinge, but it doesn't matter if you go with the stack the deck or the individual hinge, I think we'll call that one. So it doesn't matter which way, which one you use, both will work. So I tell you what, should we stick the individual hinge one in for a change? You're going to do exactly the same. So let me bring the camera down a little bit for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is to glue one of the wings. Okay. So glue on there. I like to do my videos step by step, so please comment below if you're liking the way that I do them or if you want things changing, but this is how I do it. So I've got my glue on one side. Holding this other side, you're going to position this in your project. You're going to have an equal gap top and bottom, and you're not going over the score line. Okay, you're going up to that score line fold. This is now covering, let me just put that down, this is now covering those two, let me bring it up, the two parts that we had. Do you remember? This is going to cover all that up, so this is even more sturdiness to your spine. This is why you don't need to have the chipboard. Bone folder, lost it again. Everything's going walkies today. So bone folder now in, and give that a really good burnish down. Okay, so that's your first one in, and then you're going to do exactly the same on this side. So put your glue down, go all the way around the edge, try not to go over the edge, Dawn. You can see how much glue I'm putting on. Okay, that's going to fold under now. So you're going to fold that under, and because we've done the same width as our spine, that is fitting perfectly on that edge. Just open that first part of your hinge just so everything goes down, and just give that a nice good burnish. Be firm with it, get that glue adhere to that paper, or cardstock I should say. So let me lift this up. Now can you see Got a little bit of glue seeping out there. That's not like me. There we go. Wipe that off. That is your cantilever. If I put my bone folder down there, that is your cantilever, which doesn't look a lot at the moment, but this helps everything lay flat. Now, remember you've got these, we had those gaps. This means then when the hinge comes up, you've got nothing stopping it. You haven't got to worry about the back of your book cracking. You haven't got to worry about the space with the chipboard because it's all there. Nice and snug as a little bug in a rug. Can you see that? That looks absolutely perfect. It's all tucked away, and this would work with the individual hinge, and you stack the deck as well with my cantilever back. Straight away this works because this slight little bit goes under that gap. Have a go at making one of these hinges. Even if you do a little 4x4 cover, try it out. You will absolutely be amazed with how sturdy it is, how easy it is. Just think, don't worry too much about the measurements. Get your page, cut your chipboard to your page, and you know your cardstock's going to be bigger. Everything is going to fit in absolutely superbly. So that is my easy to do your hardcover covering. Okay, it's a great book binding with the easy hardcover, absolutely cracking way of doing it. And then your two hinge systems, either you stack the deck with my cantilever back or your individuals hinges with the cantilever back. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Do leave me a thumbs up and a comment to what you think about it all. And ladies, if you're anybody that's done the retreat one and you think how sturdy this is, leave a comment and let everybody know, because this is a substantial project. But this has that cover and hinge system in there. So I'm Dawn McPhee. Thank you for watching, and have a go at doing your hardcovers, but in Dawn's easy to do way. Bye for now.